Inconceivable. Oh, wait, no, it's Invincible, Season 4 with guest Tom Hutchison once again to talk all things Invincible here today on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there.
So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Two Geeks and a Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
And we have our special guest today, and I'm going to go ahead and bring you in. Tom, here we go. It is the man himself, Mr. Tom Hutchison from Big Dog Inc. Welcome, Tom.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good morning.
Good.
Sir.
It's great to have you back again with us. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking time. If you're new to the show, Tom has been with us, I think, every time we've done Invincible. I think every time we finished the season, we've had Tom on because he's in a different spot than where he's been in the past, but he has all the Invincible books, comic books, if I remember right. Like
I just upgraded the whole set to the hardcover. I was like, okay.
Oh, nice.
I got to level up. Well, plus I'm old, so the hardcovers are bigger and it's easier to read. So I was at a comic book store and they had like half of them at a really great price. So I was like,
oh,
take those and then I'll build it out. As I find good prices, going down the line. It took me about a month, and I've got the whole thing over on the shelf.
So is that the compendium then?
It's what they call the Ultimate editions. There's like multiple versions of these things, and it's the ones that are about 11 inches tall and whatever those. So there's 12 of them to do the whole set, I filled it out a lot faster than I thought I would. And as I grabbed them, I just started rereading it again too. So it was kind of cool to just dive back in and run through it one more time.
Very nice. Well, for Tom, this is our first time meeting you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, Big Dog Inc., and kind of the projects of what you guys do?
This is the size I got.
Yeah, those are the new trades. I think those are they're smaller too, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're smaller. They're like the size of what do you call it? The anime style stuff.
Right.
Manga.
That's the new method, is making things smaller. And I'm like, no, I need them bigger. Like,
I agree. Bigger. I need them bigger too. My eyes aren't great anymore.
I will say this: there will be no small Big Dog Inc. books. If anything, we're going big here because we are not Little Dog Inc. We are not Puppy Dog Inc. We are Big Dog Inc. We go big, and we can talk about our big books later because we do have big books coming. So Big Dog Inc. I've been doing this now for 16 years. Across horror, superheroes, westerns. We're celebrating right now our Legend of Oz, our Wicked West series this year. It's 15 years of that series has been running. We're focusing on Oz kind of all year long with some other projects too. But Oz is our focus this year. We've already done 2 campaigns. The third will come in probably August once I get back from San Diego Comic-Con.
And when you say campaigns, just for everybody, the Kickstarter campaigns. I want to know where people can find you there.
Absolutely.
And now, Steven, you ordered that, didn't you?
I did. I ordered the omnibus. How is it?
Shall we talk about that now?
Oh yeah,
Why
I was going to ask you, how did it feel to have that in your hands now?
Oh, that is nice.
So this is the hardcover, guys. We did a special sepia dust jacket. For those that wanted it, we only did 100 of the dust jackets. Here is the actual cover right there.
Oh, nice.
complete with you won't really see it, but you can kind of see it's got like spot gloss on it on the logos and stuff, and down on this stuff there. So this is
I'd do a t-shirt of that.
This is the hardcover. Red edges on the pages all the way around. There's some back cover line art on it as well. And so like we said, big, right? So this is bigger than a normal comic. So like here's a regular comic, and you can see how much bigger it is.
Much more bigger.
Much
more better.
Yeah.
Sorry. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So so this was a beast to put together. Like it took so long, way longer than we thought, but multiple problems along the way because we've never done this before. Step one was we're missing pages. We're missing files over 15 years, just like files had just gone into the wind.
No.
And so I had to go chase down artists like, do you have this? Do you have this? Who has this? Which colorist did this? Do you have this? And so we found everything but one file. And the one file that we didn't find, and that's for really the one that we didn't find was for the cover gallery. So in the back, you have this, if I can find it, we're doing it. So there's like design pages in here and cover gallery for everything that is in this. So there's like the cover gallery in the back. So
cool.
That's the only thing that we didn't find was one file for the cover gallery. Because when we do the galleries, I like to do them without all the logos on them, and publish them just clean. And we couldn't find one that was clean. So that's the only sort of like, darn it, thing that we had. But we have the file, so we just put that one in there. Has some logos on it, no big deal. But we had to find files. HDE, our file guy, had to reformat all of the pages, which was supposed to be 450, and then it was going to be 480, and then it was 500, and it ended up at the total page count of 512 pages is this entire thing. So he had to rescale up all of this stuff, 500 pages. And so that took a minute. And then when it was at the printer, we're trying to figure out how to get this red edging around the sides. They were doing it one way and it wasn't working. It was like making all the pages stick together because the paper type we wanted to use it wasn't blending right. And we went through 3 or 4 different processes of that. And I was like, oh my God, stop that way. I don't want to do that way anymore because none of that's working. Is there an alternative to, getting these things? Can we sort of spray them with red versus like actually whatever that process is? And they were like, well, yeah, we could probably do that. I said, do that. Let's get it done. Just make it red. And so they finally got that and they were like, oh, this works. We found a way to kind of do this like spray process. I was like, beautiful. This is great. And then they sent me these. So that was the hardcover. This is the trade paperback, of course. Yeah. So you can get it in different ways.
I can't remember which one I ordered actually, but that's all right. I'm excited about getting it. So I was like, when I saw you post this week about, hey, I've got the proof copy thing, I was like, ooh, how is that? I was kind of excited for you that you got it and were able to see it.
Oh my God. Oh yes. Yeah. It's a big honking book. It's like I said, it's 512 pages. So it's about half of, a lot of the Marvel and DC ones are like 1,000 pages. To me, that's just too unwieldy. It's just too much to be walking. I mean, I'm holding this and I'm like, this is heavy, man. This is heavy at 500 pages. So I was really happy to just be like, we're going to cut it off. We're going to say 500 pages and then we'll do the next volume when we're ready. It'll be another 500. And people, it's just so much easier to hold and read and deal with than 1,000-page book. So when this stuff came in, I was like, oh man, this is really, really cool to see. And they're now officially on their way to us from the printer. So
So real quick, for those that may not know the story, just say a couple of sentences on the Wicked West. What that series is about.
So it's a Western reimagining of the Wizard of Oz. So instead of ruby slippers, Dorothy's got ruby spurs, ruby bullets. Kodo's her horse. So the original, so this whole thing is the first 4 volumes of the book. We've done 6 volumes so far. This is the first 4 all put together in one big book.
Yeah.
It's basically, the first volume is basically the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy comes to Oz, gets her friends, sees the wizard, all the Western twists. And then as we continue the story, we have our own ending that we put into the first volume that's a little bit different from what people know. And that allows us to keep telling the story in our own way. So we're still using the bomb sort of reference points, search for Ozma, the battle with the Gnome King, things like that. But we're able to use his foundational bullet points in our own new method of storytelling in the Wild West. So it's been really popular for us ever since it landed.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Now, again, for those that want to know kind of where to get a hold of, if you want to see Big Dog Inc.'s stuff or Tom's work and the different things he has, go to www.bigdoginc.com. BIGDOGINK.com. And there you will see that's just one of the miniseries that you have.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure everybody sees that so you know where to go. You can also find them on Kickstarter. You guys don't have any open campaigns right now, I don't think.
No, not right now. We just finished up the Oz anthology that we just did. Our next one will be May 22nd. That will be our final issue of our Goth Day series.
Okay. So you'll find it under Tom Hutchison, not Hutchinson, but Hutchison.
Yeah.
And so when we first met, Mike and I struggled with that. Is there an N in there? No, I don't
still
think there's an N
struggle
in
with it. I'm not gonna lie, I still struggle with it.
Oh goodness. So cool. Well, hey everybody, there's our intros on that. We probably need to get into our geeky news and geekdar real quick. Tom, thanks for taking time, just so those that may not know you know how to get a hold of you. I appreciate it.
Who doesn't know me by now? Come on.
Yeah.
If they don't, they should.
All right. Well, let's run into geeky news, everybody. I do that every time. I don't know why. It's
because I didn't get a sound effect with that in it. That's why.
Oh, that's probably why. Okay, go ahead, man.
All right. You want to do the screen share, Steven?
You bet.
For geeky news today, we got a trailer that we're going to take a look at.
Ooh, okay.
I've done it before.
Right. Give me just a second. I'm gonna get Tom added in here too. So
no, I'm in this trailer, so you can just leave me right there.
Oh, you are, huh?
Yeah, you can look for me.
Okay. Here we go.
For those that are listening, we're doing the Clayface trailer, DC Clayface trailer. You see a guy with his scars or his face is bandaged up.
Yeah, and that looks a lot like another Batman movie, by the way.
Batman movie or Batman TV show?
We'll talk about it after the trailer.
Okay. So some of this, everybody, different scenes. I'd encourage you to go watch it on YouTube.
Gotham City police car.
Yeah, but there's a lot of images that happen in a short amount of time. But then it gets almost horror-ish style. So it's DC Studios Clayface coming October 23rd. So I figured that's why I say it's kind of a horror thing, that they're going for the horror side of things.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
So that's on my geeky news for today. Clayface, the movie, October 23rd this year, upcoming. I have mixed feelings about this.
Okay, tell me about it, because I was curious of your thoughts.
I'm curious of what you guys think of this.
Okay.
One, I think it's interesting that DC is going the horror route. That's very interesting. Two, do I really want a Batman villain movie without Batman? I just don't know.
Oh, you mean kind of like the Penguin?
Yeah, now the Penguin I loved. I absolutely loved that, but I don't know. That was an entire series, and it was building up the Penguin and seeing who he was to who he becomes. It was done very well. So maybe I'll see this the same way as I saw Penguin, but I don't know. In the movies, I kind of want Batman to be there. So I just don't know how I feel yet about this.
Right.
And I was really curious of what you guys thought.
Do you think they're setting up like Sinister Six is not the right phrase because that's Marvel.
Oh,
but I mean,
you're setting up the Rogues Gallery.
yeah.
I mean, that could be interesting if that's what they're trying to do, is to build up Batman's Rogues Gallery before they introduce Batman. That could be interesting because that would take away, there's always the belief that Batman actually created all of his nemesis.
Right.
That he created his Rogues Gallery. And that would take that piece out of the puzzle then.
Yeah.
And make them all separate. I don't know. So I guess in some ways that could be a good thing, but I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I hate the Penguin. I hate it.
This is Penguin. This is
no, I know, but
going with history though. Let's
start with the Penguin. I hate the Penguin. I like the character. That was the only part of the Batman that I actually liked. The movie, the Batman. I liked the Penguin in that. I liked him. I liked the actor. I like Colin Farrell. But I don't like the show. But part of it is because I'm just not a gangster.
Okay, that's
not my vibe.
Here.
So I like the Penguin. I like Colin Farrell. I like that in its box, but I don't like it. With Clayface, I think there's a few things going on. One, doing a horror movie is brilliant because Marvel can't do that, apparently. Marvel has no idea how to do it. They've started and stopped Blade over and over again. They have the Midnight Suns that they could tap into at any point with Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night and Doctor Strange and Blade. They have it all right there, and they don't know how to do it. So the fact that James Gunn is over here going, let's do a horror movie, because that's what this is. This is a horror movie. It's not a superhero.
Oh, definitely.
I think it's interesting that he's going that route to be just like, let's go and do something that Marvel hasn't done. So I like that.
I think Clayface is one of the good characters to create a horror film out of too.
For sure. And it's a body horror thing. I mean, that's what Clayface is anyway. Just we know that already. But in the context of like real life, it's a body horror type of story. My thing is that I don't always like villains being either turned into sympathetic villains or starting as sympathetic villains. Like sometimes bad guys are just bad guys. You know what I mean?
We've had this discussion on the show before.
Yeah.
I want my bad guys to be bad and my good guys to be good.
But in this
I will say this, that it appears that they are following the blueprint of Clayface,
Sure. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. In this particular case, it sort of is okay, if you want to say it's okay, because you're not really, it's not like a heavy modification to what we understand as Clayface, but there is something to be said of just, bad guys are bad guys. And
I agree.
And then there is the idea again of like, okay, is this Morbius? Is this Madam Web? Is this Craven? I don't think it is though, because those characters Morbius didn't really get a lot of change, but as far as like the storytelling, but those characters kind of were taken out of who they were in the context of Spider-Man and reimagined. Whereas Clayface, all we're getting is an origin that looks like it should maintain some of what we understand as Clayface. Now, we're not going to have any Batman connection here, unless they're just not telling us that something's going to come in the end credits or something,
That's true.
Which is entirely possible. So I think you're going to have a different setup than what we had with Sony, who was literally just trying to turn villains into heroes. That's what they were trying to do. Anti-heroes, if you want to use that term. But they were trying to turn their bad guys into these heroic types of things in the vein of Venom, right? Because Venom started as a villain in the comics and became an anti-hero over time. So they were like, well, let's just do the anti-hero thing with Venom, but that was already established. So taking Craven and being like, well, let's make him an anti-hero now. It's like, no, Craven's dipweed. You don't want to just reimagine him into this like nice guy who's like, that's not who Craven is. So I think that's where a lot of where Sony stubbed its toe. And I don't know that that's necessarily what's going to happen here, just because I think that they're very aware. I think they're very aware of that stuff, how it happened. And, and while this is just a teaser, like you were saying, it's just kind of a bunch of images. We don't know anything else, like how this is going to really play out.
Yeah.
I think I think it looks like they're holding enough to source material that we should be able to get something watchable.
Well, speaking of source material though, who does Variant Comics? What's his name? Eris Quiones?
Yes, Eris Quiones.
He did. There was a short that popped up and I lost it as soon as because I want to see it. But he shows images that from the show, and Roger put it out. He said there's kind of like he does a side by side comparison to some of the images that are in the trailer that are in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, there's one image in particular where you see the shadow of him in some kind of form, and his arm is up, and it almost looks like a hammer, and that mirrors one of the Batman animated images. I seen that one, and that looked really good. I like.
Yeah, there were several that I thought that were interesting. So I don't know. I'll will I watch it if it's a movie? Yeah, because that beats my frustration when I'm like, man, some of these just need to be movies and they don't need to be 12 episodes or 8 episodes.
Preach.
Well, before we go off of this, share the image that I have.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go.
No problem. So that scene of Clayface in the bed with the bandages almost mirrors Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight.
Okay.
It is almost the exact same scene. It is identical. And when that first came on, I was like, man, that looks familiar. And then I saw this online. Somebody posted it. And I was like, holy crap, that's where it's from. And that's one of my favorite Batman movies.
In fairness, there's only so many ways to film a guy in the bed.
Oh, I know. But it looks like the identical
just
shot.
To throw him a bone. No, you're not wrong. I guess.
Oh, anyway, I thought that was interesting. I like.
But I mean, listen, these movies take from each other all the time. I saw something the other day that I did not remember until I saw it, and it was I've been watching the X-Men movies, the old X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen them in a long time. I just got a new TV, so I'm like, it's a whole new experience. It's like, oh, it's big. I want to watch all the movies again. So I was watching the X-Men movies, and
did you watch Jaws?
Oh, that was the first thing I put on.
Yeah.
Jaws and Jaws 2. Here's the crazy part. I've been watching these small screens for so long. I was watching this movie and I was seasick because it was so big. I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on? It was really bad. But no, it was great. But I was watching the X-Men movies, and so I hadn't seen them in a long time, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this was good. So even some of the stuff, like I watched Last Stand, and I was like, this is not a good movie, but it's fine. I'm just enjoying the movie. And then I watched the other day, I watched James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I don't know why, because I hate the movie, but I was like, let me just give this another try. And I had just watched X-Men Last Stand, and then I watched Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And James Gunn, his Harley Quinn scene where she's hanging from the chains was pulled directly from Brett Ratner's Last Stand. Mystique is in the cage, hanging from the chains.
That's right.
And eventually the guard gets too close. She wraps her legs around him, kills him, uses her feet to get the keys, lifts her legs up, unlocks the lock, and she gets out. That's exactly almost shot for shot.
Oh my gosh. That's
Harley does that.
About that.
That's almost what happens in Working Man too, which Brendan and I just reviewed Working Man a couple of weeks ago with, what's his name? Gosh, I can't think of the actor's name.
Michael Douglas. No, Working Man. Oh no, Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. Yeah. Because the girl that gets kidnapped, she kills the one, the other girl, I think she killed the other girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she did it almost the exact same way because
she was hanging up on
chains and everything, and she gets her around. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But apparently, that's used a lot.
Right. It's something nice about having a big TV to watch movies on, though.
Oh,
I
listen,
will say that.
you want to see something crazy? And we can move on after this, but because I watched Jaws, right? I have seen Jaws 100 times, at least 100 times. I found a huge edit mistake in the film that I have never seen in my life.
Oh,
but I think because I was on the big screen, I was like, no one saw that? That's so... How did no one see this? And it's something that I've never heard anyone ever talk about before either. So I was like,
exclusive on Two Geeks
this
and a
is either
Microphone.
a wild Mandela effect that is happening right now, or like I don't know how no one saw it.
So what's the scene? What scene is it? Do you remember?
Of course. It's burned into my brain now. I'll never be able to unsee it.
Well, you got to tell us now.
So it's the scene where they're all at the beach and the kids come with the fin, right? The fake shark fin. And
okay.
What's that? So it starts to come in. The fin comes in. Everybody starts to, oh my God, look at the fin. And so there's a shot where the girl is there and she's like, oh my God. And she turns around and like barrels into these people behind her. Okay. Immediate cut, different guy. It's a guy now. Oh, he turns around and barrels into the people behind him. It's the same people behind them each time, in the same position, on the same raft. And I was like, what just happened? How?
That's awesome.
How in the editing room are we putting this together? Like, there's nothing in between. It's like, oh my God, turn, cut. Oh my God, it's the same people behind them. I was like
in the same position and everything?
Same position. Dude over here, girl with her back to us on the raft, other person here, like almost identical, literally identical, but it's the same people, the same place. Just a snap and they're back in the same place. It was so funny. And I had to rewind it because I saw it and I was like, no, rewind. I was like, oh no, sure enough, there it is.
That's funny.
That's cool. The other thing I'll tell you, Tom, is your next step with your TV is, this is what we just did recently. I added Govee strips behind the TV, and it's the one that has a camera that you put on top of your TV, and it whatever it can section off. Depends on how you can set it up, but it can section off your TV and what colors are there on the TV in 4 quadrants, really. And then it has LED lights you put on the back of your TV, and then you've got light shining behind the TV that coincides with the colors on the TV. I thought, hey, this looks really cool. Some friends of ours on the 3 Geeky Dads posted theirs, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get that. That looks fun, and it has been fun for some movies. It's really good, like the Into the Spider-Verse, because just the colors are crazy. With that, it's pretty cool. But anyway. Yeah. So, cool. All right. So sorry, I digress, everybody. I got us off topic, and my time structure is going into overdrive and stuff. So, okay. Are we ready for Geekdar?
Yes.
Okay, let's do this.
Go with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. It's not all he's lost.
Okay.
Yeah, you asked if I could play that trailer. Tom, last week I played the Spaceballs trailer, so of course there was no music. It was just Mel Brooks talking. So
Right.
The new one.
Yeah, that was Spaceballs, the new one.
Yep.
All right.
So,
I have 2 items for Geek Dark today.
Okay.
I will start with the book by our friend Zig over at Nerdery and Murdery. This is his new novel, and it's called Fire Sign. And I just got that yesterday from Amazon. It is available now if you want to go purchase your own.
Yes,
haven't
I'd
started
encourage
reading
that.
it, but looking forward to it.
Now, wait a minute. We got to say something special about that because that is a rare copy, even though it's brand new, because it has been updated. Because at the bottom of the page, it's go ahead, show everybody. It says the Elvish War Chronicle rather than Chronicle.
I've been there before.
Right?
How did he miss that?
Oh, it's, you're so used to seeing it and stuff.
That's funny.
Listen, man, I misspelled my own name on a comic book, so
no
anything can happen. Anything can happen.
He's a great sport about it. I'm excited about it. I've started it. I've read the foreword to it, or that first introduction thing. It's pretty intriguing. So,
it's on my list. I got a couple other books to read before it, but it is definitely on my list. So
yeah.
I will get.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got like 10 books I'm all reading at the same time. Like, in terms of what kind of mood I'm in.
I can't do that, man.
Yeah,
I just can't do that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's ADD or what, because sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done with this one. Let me see what else I got.
I'm currently reading Batman Revolution. So, and I'm about 60% of the way through that one, and I'm really happy. Yep. Okay. The other item I picked up yesterday. I was really super excited about this. It is the Marvel DC crossover Superman, Spider-Man. And there is one story in here that Brad Meltzer, author Brad Meltzer wrote. I haven't read that one yet, but I'm looking forward to reading that one because apparently Brad Meltzer is a huge Superman fan. And this has been in the works for quite some time because he's been talking about it for a long time now.
Yeah.
But there's many different covers, a whole bunch of variant covers. I just picked up the regular one, the first one, which I like.
That's a good one, though. I like that.
I thought it was cool. All of them are good. There isn't one of them that's bad. So, but yeah, I thought that was cool.
Real quick, Roger had a question. Do you, Steven, skip books too? The answer to that is yes.
How do you, Steven, skip a book?
Well, I'll get there.
Oh, I know how to do that. I do that.
You just don't read it.
Well, it just kind of depends. So it depends on the book and depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But the short answer is yes. If I start a book and it's just not capturing me, I don't fall into the trap of a sunk cost fallacy or where I feel like, I put this much time into it, so I feel like I need to keep reading. I'm like, nah, I'll just put it down and then go on to something else. Now, if I got some book that I feel like this scene or this chapter or something is like, yeah, this didn't do anything for me, I'll skip it and then I'll kind of continue on and stuff. So that is true. I do, Steven, skip books too as well. Great question, right?
I do that. I do that even in comics. Like if there's so much times I'll read a scene and I'll read like the first two panels and I'll already know what's going on. Like I don't need the rest of this scene because you've already told me in 2 panels, but they'll just keep like going over it and going over it and going over it. I'm like, no, just, I know where we are. Get me to the next scene. So I do that.
Yep. See, thanks, Tom. See, he's in my corner. All right. Okay, those are your two.
Fair enough. Yeah, those are my two.
Mine is I watched with my wife the movie Nuremberg last night. It's on Netflix. It's with Russell Crowe. It is based on a book on a book. So it's the story of the psychiatrist who was there to interview all the Nazi leaders that were in Nuremberg for the Nuremberg trial. And it's really that whole story surrounding that. And it's really good. It's 2.5 hours long. It's drama. It's not action or anything like that. So I would say if you're into history, if you're into true stories kind of a thing or true history, what's the word? Historical fiction. It's really good because I'm sure not everything's in there, but it is based on the psychiatrist wrote a book called 22 Cells in Nuremberg. And so he wrote his book and they talk about it in the movie about him wanting to write a book, but then there's this moral justification and stuff in there that he gets to a point. But then he still does his book and it doesn't. Well, I'm not going to say any spoilers, but there's another guy who just a couple of years ago wrote another book on his book in that whole story, and that book served as the basis for the movie. And so it's really fascinating story. So anyway, 2.5 hours, great time spent with a wife, just watching because my wife loves historical fiction / reality TV kind of stuff. So
Nice.
Tom, do you have anything that you've been reading or watching lately? Especially on that big screen of yours. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I've been because basically I watch about a movie pretty much every day, either like for lunch or at night to kind of shut down. So
yeah,
I've been running through the X-Men movies, all of them, all the original 4, and then the 3 that came after, or the original 3 and then that came after.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fun flashback to watch Hugh Jackman become the guy that Wolverine that he is, watching his horrendous hair through all of these movies, just somehow getting worse through the first few films before First Class started, and they kind of did some new stuff with him. Like, it was really strange. But it was interesting to go back to him. I think the only real takeaway that I have as far as a mindset for them was when I got to Apocalypse, which was the third First Class movie. I'd kind of remembered not really vibing on it, but when I watched it again, I was like, no, I think this is kind of an underrated film. It has some specific problems. There's way too many characters. Nobody kind of really gets proper spotlight and so on. And some of it, drifts out of the source material. Like, Psylocke doesn't become a member of Apocalypse's gang in the comics, that kind of stuff. But if you can sort of step out of the true source material and just kind of watch the film for what it is, I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know, probably the third time I've seen it. I was really enjoying it. And then when I came out of that, the next movie there was that just horrendous Dark Phoenix film. And I kept thinking to myself, like, after these first 3 movies, how did these people not tap into Michael Fassbender and just give us a Magneto movie? Like, that should have been the next step. Because watching the progression of him through these movies is like, oh my God, this is a guy. This is a character. This is intense. This guy is Magneto, really as much as
Ian McKellen is.
Yeah, Ian McKellen is, just in the younger form. Like, just so incredible. That should have been their next step instead of like, let's just do Dark Phoenix.
I feel like we have not had a good Dark Phoenix.
No, we haven't, because both times that they had the opportunity to do Phoenix, they skipped Phoenix and went directly to Dark Phoenix. So there's no build. There's no like, hey, we got Jean manifest Phoenix. Next movie is Phoenix, and then you move to Dark Phoenix. Both times it was like, oh my God, we're gonna get Phoenix. Oh, she's bad. And and then in Last Stand it was even worse, because it wasn't even like the Phoenix Force. It was like, oh, by the way, Jean has a split personality, and one of them's the Phoenix and one of them's Jean. It's like, no, that's a terrible explanation. So the in both Phoenix films, we did not get anything that we should have gotten. Yeah.
Cool.
But agreed. I will say, everybody go back and watch Apocalypse again, because I think, given a time, everybody's probably hasn't seen it for probably 10 years. I think given the time frame, I think you might have different eyes on that movie now.
Okay. I will.
I remember watching First Class. I actually enjoyed First Class. I
do
too.
It was
a movie.
Yeah, I do too. First Class is good. I love Days of Future Past is one of my favorite superhero movies ever. I like that a lot. And then, and I think that's kind of where Apocalypse kind of stumbled, is, it came off of this high for me. It's like, how are you going to top this? This was like so much fun, this movie. And then this one was kind of less fun. And again, it has specific problems. Even me is saying, like, I kind of like it. It has specific problems, but I think that specifically, the through line of Magneto through all the films, but even in Apocalypse, he's so good. Fassbender is so good as that character. He has to appear in Doomsday. He or Secret Wars. Either way, he has to appear as Magneto in one of those two movies. I need him back. That's my need for those films is to. But imagine him and McKellen like in a scene together. Like, oh my God, that's
that
that's
would be
the
great.
stuff. That's the
That'd
stuff.
be splendorific.
Yes.
Yes, very much so. All right, well, holy cow, it's already 40 minutes into the show. Let's
I knew this.
Oh, and
was
by the way, Invincible was on. I guess that's all we need.
right. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and we'll hit the main event. It's time for the main event. All right. Oops.
All right.
Yeah.
You need to bring Megan.
Yeah. See you later, Tom. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Mike, sorry. I hit the wrong panel.
Yeah, you'll need to bring Megan in for this one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Megan's joining us for this one.
Okie dokie. Give me just a second. I'll get you in, Megan. Sorry about that. Hello, Megan.
He was patiently waiting.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Invincible season 4. This was, I thought, a really good season. I enjoyed it. Still not sure how I feel about Nolan at this point. Still don't know if I can trust him.
Before we go into this, can I ask, have you guys all read the comics?
No,
I have not. No.
I've only read so far.
That's why we like having you on the show, Tom, because we know you've read the comics.
Right. So that's always my curiosity is like, where is I want to know where your perspective is coming from. And that's what I want to know. Okay.
And there's part of me that doesn't want to catch up. I want to stay behind on the comic book just because I don't want to know what's happening before it happens and such.
Mm-hmm.
But not 100% sure I'm trusting Nolan. I mean, he seems to be trying to reprieve himself, I guess you could say. But we also have what happens at the end, and that's going to bring some other questions. And then, of course, I have a question for Tom, because I know last time we had Tom on, your big thing was you're waiting for the dinosaur character. And then you even sent me a message. Who I think he gave me a screenshot or something and said he's there, or, something like that. And yeah, he was there. And then we never saw him again. So how did you feel about that?
You asking me right now? Is that
I'm asking
you? Okay, yeah.
I'm asking you.
Okay. I didn't know there was more. So that is how it happened in the comics.
Oh,
Dinosaurus
really?
appeared. He had sort of a little mini moment, and then he gets set aside, and then he comes back in a large capacity.
Okay.
So theoretically, if they go through the timeline of the comics, and they're still aiming to like adapt the entire run, I would assume that we would see Dinosaurus quite a bit in the next season. Because again, that's sort of the progression of the real story, whatever that means. But it was fun to see him, and I knew that was all we were going to get. Again, assuming that we were getting a straight adaptation. So it was fun. It was a good tease for what I hope is coming later for his more substantial part in the series. But we have to kind of see how they are deciding to adapt this, because there's still a lot to adapt. But I don't know that I don't know that this has 4 more seasons of life left in it. Do you know what I mean? Like that's very few shows go 8 seasons of something.
Sure.
And based on the comics, if they wanted to, they could kind of wrap this up next season or with 6. Like they could easily wrap it up. But if they want to go the whole shebang, it would probably take another 4 seasons.
I'm hoping they go all the way. I don't think they've run out of steam yet.
Well, it's not that they've run out of steam. I don't mean that they've run out of steam as far as like stories to tell, but there is definitely a sort of
life cycle.
We're kind of over this Invincible thing now in the pop culture world. They're kind of like, okay, I guess it's fine. And so, Amazon and streaming services in general are notorious for being like, oh, let's shut that down. So I don't anticipate it being canceled in any capacity. But if Amazon were to be like, hey, Rob, we gotta wrap this up, they could do it easily in like 1 to 2 seasons easily. And then if they want to go more, they could go more.
Yeah. And just real quick, Rob is Robert
Kirkman.
Who is the creator of this. And also other people may know him, may realize he is the author of the
Walking Dead.
Yes. I knew
Yep.
Angie asked, she says, for someone who hasn't seen the series, should I watch it? Because I keep seeing it and I'm hesitant to watch. Plus, how long are the episodes? I only have limited time. LOL.
Well, I would say first, do you like superheroes? If that's a yes, then you're already in the right spot. If it's a no, then don't bother. If your superhero sort of zone is like Batman animated series and stuff like that, this might be too violent because it's a violent show more so
like
than a
Walking
lot of
Dead.
Yeah. So it's like a superhero Walking Dead in that violence kind of concept. So it depends on kind of who you are. But I will say that it is good. I will say you don't need to read the comics to understand it. They tell you everything you need to know in the cartoon. So it's very easy to get into. The episodes are like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. It's not.
I think they're about 40 minutes.
They vary. But on the average, you're probably around 40 minutes an episode on the average. So it's not. I mean, it's a time sink, but there's only 8 episodes per season.
Yeah,
it's not like a 20. It's not like the old days of 20 episodes.
Right.
But the full seasons are up there too. You're not.
Yeah, you can power through them. You can Steven skip when you get bored.
Right. That's right. She says, "Is it graphic, Meg? You know me."
Yes, it's graphic.
Very graphic.
Brenda said 3 times last night, I'm done. And then, of course, she kept watching it.
It's kind of like a moth to a flame.
Yeah, kind of. Well, there were some other reasons she also said it. She was done. And I don't want to give that away yet because that's some major spoilers. But
okay, all right. Well, so before we get in the spoiler area, for those who are new to the show, we usually try to do a kind of give our just our review or a number to it, our score, and I'll let you guys think about what do we want to use for our scorecard, then
how many teeth knocked out of Mark's face.
Right.
Whoops! Spoiler alert.
Very heavy too.
What'd you say, Megan?
Angie said, I don't know. I will try to watch the first episode. I said, be forewarned that the first episode is heavy too.
Oh my gosh. The very first episode for the season is
it's good.
Wow.
It's good. I would say
it's good.
If you watch the first episode, it'll either hook you or not. And if you're hooked, watch it. If you're not, it's totally okay. But that'll give you kind of a tone of the show.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you this. You'll say, what the heck just happened here?
Right. Brenda said we should use intestines. I had in my mind, I said, how many feet of intestines?
Oh, I like that. I like that.
She asked, is it Killing Joke heavy?
Yeah.
It's
a different
level. Killing Joke's a little bit more psychological.
Yeah, Killing Joke's very psychological. This is on the Walking Dead zombie side.
Yeah,
it's very gory. It's graphic in the sense of gore.
It's a good thing it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Well,
but they're still talking about that live action movie, man. They're still
really. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Kirkman just did an interview, like, I don't know, a month ago or whatever, when this first came out, and they were asking him, like, what about the live action movie? And he's like, well, it's there, but it's he said it was funny because they announced the movie first long time ago that was underway, and then the animated series got made before the movie got made. So
I would go watch a live action of this, definitely.
Ooh, I don't know if I could do that first episode in live action.
Shoot, they might have Mark beat for most blood use.
I watched the majority of Walking Dead, so yeah, I could do it.
Yep. Okay, so our score, everybody, what's our score for this season?
I will give it 8 feet of intestines out of 10.
8 feet of intestines out of 10. Brenda gives it 7 feet of intestines out of 10. I will say episode 7. I really enjoyed episode 7 of season 4. I thought it was really good. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, probably, maybe if we have time. Just kidding. So, I really enjoyed it. And so I will also give it 8 feet out of 10 intestines. 8 feet out of 10. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Megan,
my wife gave it 7?
She gave it 7.
Last night she gave it, what did she say? -16?
Something like that.
That's funny.
She was not happy with the particular scene last night.
Gotcha. Okay.
Scenes.
Yeah, scenes.
Yep. Megan, what's your score?
I don't know, I'm struggling.
Well, should we move to Tom and come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Tom?
Just like when we go out to eat.
Yeah, I struggled with this season a little bit.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. I think in the past I've been giving it like 7s. And again, part of my reasoning for lower scores is just because I know what's happening. So there's not as much surprise for me. And so it kind of can't hit peak because I already know most of what's happening.
That's why I don't want to get caught up in the books.
Sure. And if I were you, if I was in that same position where I just hadn't read the comics, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, okay, fine. I'll just watch the show. But I had already read the entire series, so I came into it without the ability to, wipe it out of my head. But even so, the whole season as a whole, just kind of felt a little less for me. So I'm at a 6.
Okay. Nice. 6 feet out of 10 intestines. Right on. All right, Megan.
I like it. Sorry, my throat. I liked it. It's just a little, I don't know, slow? Not really, but at the same, I don't know. A lot happened. The action isn't a thing that doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is filled with action. The whole series is.
I guess you could kind of say it's a little bit less story than, I don't know.
You think it's more action driven than story driven?
I mean, I think the whole series is a little bit more action than story driven, but this, I don't know how to put it into words, but I think I'm sitting at a 7 too.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Right on.
I find it funny. Almost every episode, Mark's costume gets trashed, and I'm like, he's like Spider-Man, Spider-Man always has to have the part of the face torn off of it, and so you see part of his real face, and and all that, and there are some scenes in here that look almost like Spider-Man scenes.
Yeah,
I just thought that was pretty funny.
So let's do this. Everybody, we've given our scores, so we are going to go into spoilerific territory here. So be forewarned. I'm going to keep this up because, oh, look, I can do Kilroy. There we go on the screen.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No one understands that reference. No one. You have to be of an age to understand what just happened.
Good call. Good call. I just dated myself, is what Tom was saying.
I understood it.
Oh God!
But you got to get your nose over it.
Right.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, first off, let's talk about our favorite parts in the in the series. So any favorite parts that you guys had that kicked it up a notch for you in scoring?
Man, I've been watching it all week. Geez, I have to think about that. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of intestinal work in this series, comparatively speaking.
And this isn't because of the show, but this is just one of the cool sort of design elements, because this is in the comics too. But when they get to Viltrum and you see that the rings are all made up of the dead people and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When you start getting into like the Viltrum lore about their backstory and, you know, how they dealt with the Scourge virus and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you finally get to the planet and you see that sort of as a thing. It's kind of like, oh, wow, that's an intense design element. That, you know, I really was kind of like, whoa, I would have never in my writer brain come up with like, let's float all our dead around the planet as a, you know, this tomb style thing. Like, whew, that was, that's something.
Well, I liked it when the supreme leader or whatever he's called,
Thragg, excuse me. Thank you.
When he says that there, I think it was him, or was it Nolan that said it? One of them said that they did that partially, so when they leave the planet, they have to go through that.
That was Thragg,
and it reminds them
as a reminder
of what has happened to them and everything. And I was like, "Ooh, that's a good line right there." I like that. I thought that was it.
So episode 7 was my favorite by far, because, well, one, it was a big surprise for me what happens at the end of that. I'll get to that in a second. But you're right, when you first come in there and just the darkness, the choice to say, hey, we're going to put all the dead bodies all here in space, you know, as a ring around our planet. And then he said, as a reminder, that was something. But then it was just the big fights that occurred with that, you know, the whole big fight of the Viltrumites. But what was interesting is their story, that the lore of Viltrum, as you put it, Tom, I was shocked about, okay, now I know who and where the traitor comes from, what's his name, you know, the traitor, that bit of the story, but then how Thragg used that as what did they call it? The Great Purge of, you know, and I thought that was interesting in people's psyche. He was like, well, I don't believe you, so I will kill you now, you know, kind of a thing. And just how that went through the entire planet. And then I guess it was a test of the survival of the fittest kind of a situation.
Yeah. When that happened,
mentality of that.
When that happened, I went, really? Was it the virus that killed so many of you, or just you guys killing?
That's what I thought too, right? And then they had the virus.
It's both. That's the whole thing. It really was both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the virus clearly did its job. You know, it started taking people out, but then they were sort of afraid of the effects, and they kept going with it eventually. So yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, when you see the coming of age scene, he's like, oh, it's your birthday and mom and dad are going to beat the crap out of you now to make sure that you're valuable to live in society. That really, to me, is sort of like the metaphor of the Scourge virus, is that it never left them, because they had that thought process of, are you good enough? And they would beat the crap out of it and kill them. They would, if you can't survive, oh well. So, you know, they were sort of their own virus.
I just had an epiphany.
Oh, nice said. I like that.
So I just realized why Tom likes this series so much. Because if you think about it, they're kind of like sharks. I mean, think about this a minute. Sharks will eat each other in the womb. They're kind of like sharks. That's why Tom likes this so much. Had to bring it back to Jaws somehow.
Wow, get it there. That's funny. So, with the big shocker for me though was that when they destroyed the planet, didn't see that coming. And I was like, "What?" Now I was watching on the big screen with my little lights action going on.
Oh, cool!
And it was spectacular. Not only did I watch it once, but then my oldest or my youngest stepson, he's been watching it, and so I watched it again. And I was like, "Yeah, this is a really good episode. I really enjoyed it." So I was shocked with that. So, any other favorite parts you guys had?
I did like Oliver getting to bond with Nolan.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I
the process of the character development of where stay away from me, and then became a
he got to have the dad that he wanted from the start.
Right.
And I liked
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I enjoyed
that's
that.
a good
too.
point.
That
Mhm.
was good.
Yeah.
You know, I like the family element of that. It was really good. Although Nolan still, he is just bad.
Well, it's, how much do you pay for, how much do you have to atone for in redemption for what you've done in the past? And that's a good story arc within this whole series was,
for him, it's a lot.
yeah, well, it is. I mean, how much enough do you need to pay for? And then it's just why even the wife, or ex-wife or whatever, but where she's like, yeah, no, I don't have to be happy about this. And, you're a jerk. And I thought it was a nice surprise to realize that her and the other relationship with what's his name didn't work out at the time. And you're thinking they're still together, but they're not. And she's still like, no, I'm not taking you back to, to Nolan. So, yeah, there's some good story arcs in it. Yes. Tom, you're awfully silent on what you liked about the show.
There wasn't a lot. That's the thing. There just wasn't a lot. I mean, again, like partially because I already knew, so that blowing up the planet was not a surprise or anything. So there's generalities that I'm like, that was good. They did a really good job of showing that scene of blowing up the planet and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the and this is where kind of what I talked about, where the lifespan of the show. A lot of people talked about how the animation has slipped off over the seasons. It's gotten
really
kind of yeah.
Okay.
Even
I didn't think so.
In the context of the drawings itself, in the context of the impact of a lot of the fights, it's some of it's not all of it, but a lot of it's kind of really kind of just soft when they're hitting each other. It's sort of just like this kind of stuff rather than like impact, right? And then there's like the part where Invincible and Thragg face off, and Invincible like hits him and like nothing happens. So you get like a good moment there. But if you go back through and you watch a lot of the fights are really kind of low impact. And again, the animation is just kind of more flat. Like if you compare this animation to a lot of just anime stuff, the animation is far below what they're doing up there. Now, part of that is because they're trying to move the series faster. And when you're doing animation faster, you have to lose some elements of detail and you just have to, because we have to do a season every year and let's go and do this. So it's a natural process of just sort of lowering the animation. One of the great examples was, I think it was episode 4 when they go to hell, which was, I don't like that episode.
I didn't like that episode. It was just like filler or something. Filler.
Yeah. But one of the great examples is when they were falling down that giant pit, right? And they were, how they're kind of like this, just kind of falling down the pit for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing moves. No fingers move. Their mouths move because they talk sometimes, not always, because sometimes they're just talking in their head. So sometimes you're literally just looking at a still image.
Right.
What am I looking at? So what are we doing animation wise? You're not even
okay. I get you there.
You know what I mean? So there's been things like that kind of, and it kind of started with last season too. People started noticing that kind of stuff, but in this season there was kind of more of less in that regard. So it's a visual thing, and people have been comparing it to the comics, like, hey, look at this scene where all these guys kind of get together and it's this great pacing and everybody's kind of really in their poses and they're really doing the thing. And then you see that exact same shot in the cartoon and everybody's almost like lackadaisical. They're just kind of like, yep, all right, we're in the scene, I guess. That's fine. There's now the comparison that's happening to the comic here. And this is one of the things that I think is sort of the lifespan. When the cartoon came out, particularly season 1 and 2, most people hadn't watched or hadn't read the comics. So they had no comparison to anything. It was just, holy cow, what are we looking at? Right? This is crazy. But in that time now, between 2 and 3 and now 4, people have read the comics. and they are aware of the show, like I am. They are aware of Ryan Ottley and what he did as far as designs and the intensity of the comics and so on. And so now we have a different audience watching this show. We have an audience that is now an informed audience based on the comics, who are now saying, okay, I've read the comics. This is really good. What are they doing? How good is the adaptation really now versus just I'm just coming in blind and give me what you're going to give me.
Right.
That's where I think we're starting to see a little bit of this informed audience. And you get it with Marvel and DC movies too, where they're like, well, that's not the source material. That's not the way that looked. Tech Jacket in the comics is a guy. They turned her into a girl in the cartoon. So you're starting to see the informed audience, starting to sort of chime in now as like, well, this isn't as good as the comics, or, whatever, however they want to say it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an interesting sort of shift in the sort of, viewing of the show through the audience now. And that's why I'm saying, if they really were like, oh, maybe we've lost them, they could wrap this up in 1 or 2 seasons if they wanted to.
Gotcha.
But maybe they take some of those critiques and say, well, okay, let's work on season 5, but let's see what we can do about these critiques and punch it back up. And if they can, great. But who knows if that's possible.
That's a great insight though, when you're sitting there saying, I like how you said that the informed audience is like, you're making some changes, or you're not quite landing the punches of how the comics are.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it makes me wonder, you're correct. Every product has a life cycle. Usually it's 7-ish years. Once you hit 7, you're done, kind of a thing. And, but now you've got me wondering if this season is the beginning of it's reaching its peak, and or it's already hit its peak and it's starting to curve downward in its life cycle. Because of that, I didn't think about the nature of those who are fans of the books. I mean, obviously people will say, the books are always better than the movies or shows, kind of thing. But if you take that out of the equation though, I mean, even people who have read the books, are probably like, excited about seeing some things, and you can help speak into this. But then you get to a certain point where you're like, I'm starting to wane on this. My time's limited. If I really had to, choose, Invincible is no longer on my must watch, and it's now hitting my maybe I'll watch time period. Is that kind of what you think is the case? Is what's beginning to happen now?
To some degree, and I think that it's a shame because the show is different from the comics too.
Now that's what I was wondering.
It definitely does things that the comics don't do. Like in this last episode, where Mark is sort of having his panic attacks of the potential future, right? With the Viltrumites on Earth.
He's having PTSD is what he's having.
Yeah, but that's not in the comics. That aspect is not in the comics. Like there was the original, like when they showed that opening scene, right? That's in the comics where they were all like, oh my God, the Viltrumites went to Earth. What are we going to see when we get there? Like that's in the comics, but it wasn't quite as what they did in the comics as far as he was having like these these visions and stuff of like, oh my God. So I really did enjoy the last episode quite a bit because of the way that they kind of dealt with
I want to talk about that. Okay, go ahead.
Well, there was a surprise for you then.
Yeah, well, it was a surprise. It was just more like they gave me more than I was expecting. Because again, it doesn't change the story, but it did change the value of that story for me, because they weren't just a 1-for-1 adaptation. They were like, oh, let's throw a little in here. Let's throw a little in here. Like, oh, that was a cool, I thought that was a very cool way to sort of show what's in Mark's head in making all of the decisions that he has to make in that finale.
See, I was curious since I haven't been reading the books. I mean, I've been reading them, but after I watch it, and I haven't been doing it religiously, so I'm way behind still. But the one thing I was curious about is how much difference there is between the books and the animated series versus like Walking Dead, because again, I came into Walking Dead knowing nothing about it, and I knew there was a comic book, but I had never read it, and I watched the shows, and then I would hear all this chatter about, oh, well, that's nothing like the comic. They didn't do it that way. I mean, the books and the show, as far as Walking Dead go, they're almost two separate entities.
Yeah, they have touchstones between them, but like
Right.
when they get to the governor, when they get to Negan, whatever, there's touchstones, but it's not a one-for-one adaptation.
Exactly. But you're saying this is closer to a one-for-one adaptation.
No, not at all, because it's a more compressed version of the comics, like hyper compressed. Like we're at season 4 now, and we're on, where does that take us? It takes us through like the first 13 or 14 volumes of the book.
Wow.
So it's not like volume 1 is season 1 and volume 2 is season 2, like not even close. Like it is a hyper compressed series, which I like because it gets it moving a little faster, especially in the early days of Invincible. It's a slow burn in the early volumes of Invincible to get kind of, let's go now. So they understood that. They understood what they needed to do, and they tightened it all up and made the changes that they wanted to make. And they're telling you the core of the story that's in the books, but the books are far more wide and vast.
Yeah.
As far as
Sam is in the house. Sam just wanted to real quick say, hey, thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us. He asks how many volumes. So if you say that we're,
So Sam, it depends on how you're collecting them, but if you're just buying trade paperbacks, there's 25 trade paperbacks. That's how they were originally, released. And then there's there's hardcover versions and omnibus versions and all kinds of different versions of them. But if you just want the trade paperbacks, which you can get at a pretty good price, there's 25 of them.
So how many? So you're saying we've probably gone through 12 trade paperbacks, is what you're saying?
Ish.
Sure.
Something like that. 12, 13, something like that. Yeah.
It looks like these books go 5 floppies.
Yeah, 5 to 6 at a time is how they do those. Yeah. Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
So here's the thing. If you're enjoying the show and you want more, there is way more in the comics, like way more. But some of the storytelling is different. Like I said, Tech Jacket is a guy, Tech Jacket is a girl. There are variations to what you're seeing one way or the other, but there is way more world and way more stuff happening in the comics, and they have more room to do it. They're not restricted by animation budgets and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the natural process. That's why a lot of people are always like, well, the book is better because it has more space to do whatever it wants to do.
Sure.
But like, for example, Project Hail Mary, right? That was a book that was hugely popular, and now the movie is hugely popular. I love the movie. I've never read the book. I love the movie. That was fantastic. But then people were coming out of it going, oh, but it didn't have this part from the book. I'm like, okay. So that doesn't change that the movie is good. I understand you wanted to see that portion adapted, whatever it is, but that doesn't change that the movie is good or bad. Like it's such a weird thing to be like, well, but I don't like it because the book's better. That's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary, go see Project Hail Mary, because
I have not seen it yet.
Traditionally, everybody on this planet by now knows #Tom hates everything. And Tom loves Project Hail Mary. So
if Tom likes it, good chance it's pretty good.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor.
We should start adding a scale. So, Tom, when we do movie reviews, we'll do like, is it worth seeing in the theater? Wait for streaming, or or that kind of thing. Yeah. Now we probably need to add a scale. Is this one Tom approved? Our highest level of
above or below the Tom line.
Tom approved, right?
I think Megan was trying to break.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Megan.
The book thing. See, it depends.
Megan's an avid reader too.
Mm-hmm. And there is one in particular that the movie is absolutely terrible compared to the book.
Oh, wait. Is it Percy Jackson.
Yes.
I knew it. I knew this is where we were going.
I've read
But
Percy
see,
Jackson.
but let me just say this real quick. I accept your premise, but all that means is that the movie was a bad adaptation. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad movie. And there's a distinction, right? There's a distinction. Like there's legitimately, we made a bad movie. This is a bad movie. But then there's, we didn't adapt it to, appropriately for the reading audience to like it. And so I've had this argument with people on this before, where they're like, well, no, it's not like the book. I'm like, okay, it's not like the book. What did the movie do though, that people clearly in some situations, people still liked it because it made money, it got good reviews and so on and so on.
Right.
So all that means is that it was a good movie, but a poor adaptation. And I can completely accept all of that. Yeah.
I'll give you that because I do normally, if I'll say it's a good adaptation. Like one of them that I love that people hate on is The Host.
I remember going to see that with you and Cheyenne.
Is that Stephanie Meyer?
Yes.
Book? Okay.
Yes, that is Stephanie Meyer is better at sci-fi than she is fantasy.
Okay.
She's also the author of Twilight.
Right.
Sorry,
I should have said that for everybody. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for
I
saying
love The Host. The Host is one of my favorite books. And
okay.
I genuinely love the movie adaptation. Yes, there are scenes that I wish that were in it that weren't, but it's fine. It works still. So it's a great adaptation. People hate it for stupid reasons. I don't really understand it. But that is one I'll agree that I specifically say I like. It's a good adaptation. I can't talk.
It's all right. Tom, do you think there is something to be said that you've got? Sorry, I'm hung up on this whole aspect of you have your reader audience and your visual audience, for lack of a better term. Those who like to read the books, those who like to watch it happen. Mm-hmm. Do you think they actually can feed into each other's industries? So, in other words, readers go to the movie because they're like, oh, I want to see how they adapt it. But then there's people, which I probably fall into this category more often, is I watch it, then I'm like, oh, I would love to read that book and then get the book experience because I know it's going to be. Yeah. I think that's a better experience on a timeline, I guess.
I think that is a better experience. But I don't think that there's nearly as much crossover from movie to book as there is from book to movie, because I think people that are movie people are movie people.
Okay,
and
that
doesn't mean that they wouldn't read a book, but I don't think that they're necessarily the avid readers. If you're, I will tell you right now, I'm a movie guy. I don't care about your book. I'm disinterested in your book. I will not watch your movie and then go read the book. It's not going to happen.
Like Project Hail Mary. You're like, I love the movie.
Yeah, reading Project Hail Mary. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant to me. Okay. I had never read Watchmen, the comic. I watched the movie and I loved it. I was like, this is great.
Which version? No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
No, it is which version. It is absolutely which version. But I love the movie. I have no interest in reading the comics.
Reading the books.
Like,
comics.
Don't care. Do not care. So I think that there is crossover both ways, but I think it's far more apt for a reader to go to the film and be like, ooh, I like this book. Let me see what they did with it. Right. Mm-hmm. Versus I like this movie. Let me see where it came from. I think that's two different mindsets. Yeah.
Yeah. I think go ahead, Megan. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as a reader, I prefer seeing the films first and then going into.
Yeah, I think that's the better experience. Yeah.
Then I'm not disappointed as much.
Well, and you, generally speaking, you'll get more. So if you like the movie, generally speaking, you will probably like the book because you'll get more of what you liked. So that should be the best experience.
And I mean, I did that with Logan's Run. We watched the movie first, and then I want to read the book because I want to know what happens in the book. That's the only one I recently have that I can think of that I saw the movie first. The Harry Potter series, I also watched those way before I got into the books.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's. I think, Tom, what I hear you saying, though, it is from a probability standpoint, most people would be watching the movie and
then waiting for the Blu-ray and then waiting for the Blu-ray so they can watch it at home. Yeah, not going to buy the book to read it.
They're not going to go buy the book. They'll buy the Blu-ray, or they'll do the streaming service or whatever. Right. Rather than, so really in the beginning for a movie or a show to be successful, you've got to bank on some aspect of having your reading audience be interested in it to get it started.
Sure. I think that's, but here's an interesting thought process, right? Did Robert Kirkman sell Invincible because of Invincible, or did Robert Kirkman sell Invincible because of The Walking Dead? And I would say he sold it because of The Walking Dead. Amazon said, "Hey, what else do you have?" And he was like, "Well, I got Invincible. And we could make it a cartoon instead of a thing." I think that probably helped him a lot, because Invincible never sold Walking Dead numbers as a comic. I think it peaked out at somewhere around 16 or 17,000 units a month, which in Marvel terms, that's cancel time. So Invincible was never popular to the level of like The Walking Dead.
Until the cartoon came out.
Until the cartoon came, and then it blew up. Then it absolutely blew up. And so it's always interesting to kind of see, like, where did this stuff come from? How did these deals get made? But, Kirkman's in Hollywood now, so he has more access to opportunity because The Walking Dead was such a success, and still continues to be, because they keep making more spinoffs and more spinoffs. So, he even went back to the comic. Okay, you want to know? Like I said, Invincible at its peak was selling 17,000, at least that's my understanding of it. He comes back to it after the show is on, sells Battle Beast as a comic book. Battle Beast sells like 400,000 units or some insane number.
It was just like that too. Yeah. Like they were sold out in one day, right?
Immediately.
In hours or something like that. Yeah.
Part of that was because of blind bags. There was some hype behind it, but it was because of the TV show that people were like, they were buying all the Invincible books. They were catching up and they were like, oh my God, there's a new Invincible. Let's go get this thing. So there's definitely hype behind it. It's not just a pure, we want this. It's a hype machine. It's collecting. Sure. It's more than just the reading. But it outsold Invincible at its sort of its peak moments. Just out of the blue. So sometimes things just have to exist for a period of time before people discover it, in however they discover it. And then you can start to really layer on, now we're doing this, now we're doing this, now we're doing this. And the way that I've heard it is Battle Beast is designed, the comic book is designed to run right up to the point where he has a problem in Invincible. We'll just leave it at that. So it's literally sort of this, like, here's the Invincible timeline, here's the Battle Beast timeline, and then the story will run right into where he appears in Invincible. That's how he's doing that. And now he's going to do that with this other character and this other character and this other character. So you're going to get these tangential stories that will all sort of lean right into, the Invincible main timeline, which is a really interesting thing to do. I like it.
Okay.
Now you got me really thinking.
And now Kirkman has G.I. Joe and he has Transformers. Like he's in the Hollywood.
You mean he's got G.I. Joe and Transformers? What do you mean by that?
He's doing those comics, G.I. Joe and Transformers comics.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh, wow. He's been doing it for like 2 years. Yeah.
Huh. Really? So he bought the rights to him or something? Or is it part of the publishing house?
He got the rights. IDW had them for both of them. The licenses ran out or were removed, or I don't know how it happened, but Skybound then got the licenses for G.I. Joe and Transformers and have been doing it for 2+ years. Yeah. And they themselves are wildly successful books.
Oh, I need to look into that. I got to see that. That's fascinating. Because I mean, you've got that kind of one of the things about his style and really about this show is the way how fast it moves. Like it's like, okay, you got a problem, okay, you get it solved, but it leads to another problem. You got that solved, oh, it leads to another problem, and it's quick, it's fast paced. It's like, gosh, part of me is like, can't they ever catch a break? Kind of a thing.
If you want the break, you read the comics. Comics is where you get to breathe for a minute.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
Yeah, the show is very kinetic and it's very like next.
Good word,
next,
kinetic.
Next,
I like that.
Yeah, but Steven, this should match your time schedule.
Time structure issues.
Right.
Yes, it does actually. Yes. I don't Steven skip Invincible just because I don't
It's a good thing you don't, because if you did, you'd miss stuff.
I'd miss stuff, right? Right, because it happens so quickly.
You can skip episode 4, but
okay.
Yeah, I watched episode 4.
Other than that,
I wonder, is like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite episode.
It wasn't my favorite either.
As we talked about the adaptation, that is not in the comics in any capacity. Volcanica is in it, the character is in it, but that whole story with the devil and all that stuff, that is not in the comics.
Yeah.
Well, I was intrigued by the demon detective guy, and I thought,
he's in the comics, but not in that capacity.
Yeah. Okay. Because part of it was like, oh, we'll get more story with him, and he's coming back now. And
yeah, he was kind of cool, kind of a cool character and stuff.
Yeah, but I was like, well, it didn't do much. That one didn't. I agree. I concur. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a big question there as far as like, okay, was that just a one-off, or are they actually going to use that in, going forward, which would change the structure of what
What's
we
coming.
know, what we understand as the comics. It would change the structure if all of a sudden we were doing a Hell is Rising, thing.
Yeah.
That would be completely out of the realm of the comics.
You think it's something he's going to do similar to what he's done with Battle Beast?
Maybe. I mean, there was, I'll tell you this. I lost my mind in 1 second. I lost my mind because there was a rumor that they were going to do the Hell portion in order to spin off a Spawn animated series. And when the portal opened and chains flew out, I lost my mind. I was like, you're doing it? And then, no, they're not doing it.
Oh.
So they had me, man. If Spawn came out of that portal, I would have been like, yo, all right.
That would have been pretty cool.
I would have been 9 intestines out of 10 at that point,
Well, yeah, if Spawn would have came out of that portal, I probably would have been right there with you.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. We do have to talk about something. Megan she actually called something that happened in the episode. And I was just like, when she said it and then it happened, and I was like, holy crap, Megan, that was great.
I promise I didn't see any spoilers.
Because
I'm not on Invincible. I don't have Invincible on any of my social media.
But so we had the Eve was going through the issue of her powers were waning. She'd create something and then it would just melt away and stuff. And the question became, what was happening to her? Why was she losing her powers? And then all of a sudden, Megan chimes in. And what did you say?
I said, I bet I know why her powers are faulty. I said, I bet she's pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 2 seconds later.
Right. And when she said it, I went, holy crap, that makes sense. Because I wasn't putting it together when it was going on. And then she said that, and I was just like, well, dang, Megan, that really makes sense. I can understand that now. And then, it was just a moment later, all of a sudden they reveal it that she's pregnant. I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. Megan, you called it. So that was a cool moment. And then we had the shocker at the end.
The last episode.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Yeah. It was a touching moment. I mean, it was a tense moment that became a touching moment.
Yes.
Of where he was, I see. I don't know, Tom. I don't know where you think about this, but I thought it was really cool how you've got him doing the PTSD thing, but then he's turning around in a moment where it could be tense, but he becomes very tender and says, and it still is that angst within him about should I stay or should I go now? Kind of a thing.
Sam said Megan 200 IQ.
Nice.
Yeah.
So-
I thought that made sense though when they were having the conversation and then he didn't hear her because he had a PTSD moment and everything. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. It's not him ignoring her. It's just he's having these PTSD visions because they're not flashbacks, they're visions of what might possibly happen, and he can't figure out if they're really happening or not, which I thought was a great Brenda hated it because of the things that would happen in the visions, and that's the point where she went -16 or whatever she said.
All these people are dying, getting killed, right?
Yeah, she got so mad.
And then all of that was perfect to lead right to the end where Mark's just chilling and then Thragg's there and you don't know if it's real or not.
Exactly.
You're like,
I was having
his eyes and he's like, nope. And then you open them and it's like, no, he's really there.
Right. And I was even I'm like, holy crap, I don't know if it's real or if it's not.
Yeah.
So they did it. I thought they did a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, the last episode really kind of brought it back for me, as I was kind of struggling through a lot of it. That last episode was like, oh, this is what I see because for me, listen, guys, I'm 55 years old. I've seen people punch people before. I've seen teeth fly out. I've seen intestines. I've seen all of this stuff that you youngsters are like, oh my God. So a lot of that violence and stuff, it's like, it's fine. I accept it, but it doesn't drive the story for me anymore. So when we get good story elements like that final episode and seeing Mark's struggle and all of that build to a point, and then the decision that he has to make and all of that, like, that for me is that's what I'm here for. Like,
okay,
go ahead and punch somebody. That's fine. But I'm here for those like that last episode types of moments. Those really are what drives the character and the story and the stakes home for me. Far more than like there's 20 guys punching each other in space. Like, all right, that's fine. But
so you're
I need a little more.
You're looking for it to deviate from the original source material then.
Well, not necessarily. But like I said, the final episode, it didn't really deviate from the source because that's what happens in the comics. Like that decision, all that process. The only thing that we got more was we got the vision element of it, which made it even better as you were going along. So instead of just him flying around going, what do I do? What do I do? Like he was getting these like, oh, this is bad. And then he has to make the decision to let them stay. Like, that's great storytelling, adding that PTSD element into it. It was really, really, really good. So the story element leveled up in that regard for me, even though it was the same ABC as far as like, this is what we're doing. This is the adaptation of the comic. They went ABC, C+, and, kind of went back around and just added more to it. So it was, I really liked that last episode. It really brought me back in to be like, okay, I'm ready for season 5 now. Because as we were going through, I was kind of like, fine. But then I really liked the last episode. So I was like, they hooked me back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am, that final decision, I was like,
yeah, we should talk about that. We should definitely talk about that.
Yeah. So, who wants to do the flyby thing on pardon the pun, on that decision? Who wants to talk about that? Or who wants to give everybody a synopsis of what we're talking about?
So Thragg comes to Earth as we've been expecting him to come to Earth because obviously Nolan, Mark, and what is his name? Thetis. They destroy the planet Viltrum. They completely destroy it and leave the remaining Viltrumites with no home. So we all know the Viltrumites are going to go to Earth. That's going to be their target now. And Mark knows that, and that's part of the reason he has the PTSD. Well, we finally have the moment where Mark meets Thragg right above Earth, and Mark is getting ready to battle with him and everything. And Thragg says, "No, let's have a moment here. Let's stop and talk." And he goes on to tell him, "Look, I won't destroy your planet. I promise you, I won't destroy your planet. But we will infiltrate your planet. We will live among your people, and you won't know we're there. And we will breed, and we will build up our race again." And he goes, "And there's nothing you will do about it, because if you do, we will destroy the entire earth, the entire earth and everyone you love." So Mark has that, Mark gets to make the decision for all of Earth.
For all of humanity. Yeah.
All of humanity.
Yeah. Very much so.
What to get done, what happens.
Yep. Sam, real quick, we just say thanks for joining us. Good night, man. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for hanging with us. Our friend from down under, as you would say, Michael. Yeah. So, Tom, that becoming, I hear what you're saying about story is king. Drive that story. Again, I haven't read the comics, but that was a huge shock for me and all. What was since you've read the comics, what was your opinion at that moment? Was it like, they did it justice, or was it, I already knew it?
Oh yeah, no, they did it. And that's why I said they leveled up the storytelling. It wasn't just a 1-for-1 adaptation. So I'm kind of like, yep. The PTSD stuff, the way that they dealt with it, it was really, really good. So, and it's the impossible choice. It's the choice that isn't a choice.
Right.
Even Thragg tells him, it's like, you don't have a choice. This is what's happening, or everything's gone.
Right.
So it's and we already know that Invincible can't take Thragg at this point anyway, because when they fought originally, Thragg was just like, whatever. So Invincible knows, Mark knows that that's the end of everything if he doesn't just back down. So, I think they did a great job.
I think it, in a way, adds a more of an element of fear to the story now.
Of course.
Because now you're going to have them living among us, and we don't know who they are. And at any moment, something could set them off. So there's that new element of fear now of what in the world are the Viltrumites going to do?
Mm-hmm. Well, and then there's just the long-term thought process of, okay, if they're going to all have kids, at what point do they go from 27 Viltrumites to 1,000 Viltrumites?
Right.
And then they decide that the deal's off. Like it is the impossible choice. There's no right or wrong or anything. There is only,
it just is.
It just is. Right.
Yeah. Well, we could also have another situation, because I mean, Mark and Oliver are both part Viltrumite. Mark's from Earth, obviously, and
but three Viltrumites against 27 at minimum. Even in the show, they tell you, like, it doesn't matter.
I get that.
Nolan says, like, it doesn't matter what we do; they would obliterate the planet.
Sure, I get that, but what I'm saying is, Mark and Oliver are not like the Viltrumites. Who's to say that their offspring isn't going to turn out more like Mark and Oliver?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you've got the issue of the mid-credit scene at the end with that's where where Optimus Prime leaves his the voice of Optimus Prime, Theta, whatever his name is, he says, "Hey, I built the Scourge virus part 2."
The super Scourge that'll wipe out Viltrumites, but it might also potentially wipe out anybody with similar DNA styles, which would be all the humans too.
Right. So what is Alan going to do? Yeah. Is he really going to release that or not? Because Alan doesn't want to kill.
I know the answer.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Super spoiler section here.
But do you know the answer? Because they might deviate from it.
They could. Yeah.
They could go a whole different direction.
Right. They might go a whole different direction.
Yeah.
You don't know. Just like
I will say
Walking
this.
Dead.
I will put this into the world right now. I will put this into the universe. Robert Kirkman, you need to rewrite your ending. You need to give us the ending that we don't know, that we don't expect. You need to. I don't need a 1-for-1 adaptation of the finale. I don't need it. I would much rather you just come out like you did with the Walking Dead comic and have your ending, whatever it is, and just be like, see ya.
Yeah, because the ending of Walking Dead comic book, because I did go back and read the comic books later. A friend of mine at work was buying all the compendiums, so I would, as he'd buy a compendium and he'd read it, and then he'd let me read it. So I was doing that, and I enjoyed the comic books, but me being a fan of the television series first, I tend to lean towards the television series, but they definitely had different endings. They were quite different.
Well, but even more specific, the Walking Dead comic book was solicited for sale through issue 199, and everybody kind of assumed it was going to end at 200. When 194 or whatever it was came out, he just walked away. So the 195, 96, 97 that were solicited for sale, that was fake.
Okay.
So when 194 came out, he said, that's it, we're done. That's the final issue. And everybody lost their minds because they were like, what? We thought we were going to get this, you solicited these books for so long and we thought these were coming in and we were ordering based on that. And he was like, nope, that's it. Bye. See ya. That was how The Walking Dead ended.
Oh, wow.
And that, I have said that, I will continue to say that, is the smartest thing he has maybe ever done, because there's no chance that you can run a series for that long and be that intense and have a finale, like literally we're going to end at 200 or whatever, and have a finale where people would be like, oh my God, that's the best ending you could possibly have for a zombie thing. And no one's ever, that would never happen. All you would get is, man, what a crappy ending. So he walked away from that. He cut the thread and said, see ya. And
wow.
He changed the narrative from what a crappy ending to, oh no, we have to go get that book because it's the last book. He changed the narrative completely. So with Invincible, like I said, there's a way he could wrap this up next season. There's a very easy way he could wrap this up in season 6. He doesn't have to do all of this that would require another 4 seasons if he doesn't want to. And if he were to look at him at his book and say, we can tighten up this finale, I think we might even get something better as a finale in the cartoon based on how he's been able to condense all of this into a tighter story. I think we get a better finale than what we had in the comics if he were to decide to do it that way.
Cool. Okay.
So we'll see what they want to do, but I think there's a lot of opportunity for him to kind of make a better ending for us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've heard some people say, I've loved the voice acting of it all. The actors that, and you hear their voices. Excuse me, sorry. But I've heard some people complain about Thragg. They didn't like Thragg's voice.
Thragg's not exactly, it's fine, but he's not like intense. He's not like a Nolan intense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's fine,
I wondered that. I finally made the connection because I started watching the show Foundation a little bit because it's Isaac Asimov's, books or something. So, I kind of like that. And the guy who plays the Emperor in that is the voice. I was like, that's where I've heard that voice. Okay, kind of thing. And if I wondered that's why they did that. But I will agree with you when in the show, when we got him, I was like, he doesn't sound as, I'm going to use the term gravitas, that as I would think that person, a person who is, I'm shocked at how they have portrayed, in a good way. I'm shocked at how they've portrayed him as, he's like ultra Viltrumite. It's like, good night. Like the regular Viltrumites almost have no power over him. It's that way in the comics. Gosh, how did they beat them?
I know.
Well, part of the problem is real quick, is YouTube's my thing. I'll watch stuff on YouTube, and I've watched a couple little things on people talking about, like, from 2-3 years ago, stuff that's happening in the show today. Or, and I was like, oh, that'll be interesting. But then I see stuff that starts hitting my feed now of stuff that I haven't seen yet. Like, they're showing images or, pics of the comics and stuff. I'm like, oh, do I click it or not? Do I click it or not? So I haven't been. I'm usually okay with spoilers, but I don't know. For this show, I've been a little different.
I would say don't buy in. If you don't know the comics and you are coming into this show clean, I would avoid as much as you possibly can.
That's good. Okay.
Because I think all you're going to get are kind of like what I talked about, is you're going to get these people that are comparing and contrasting, and this is what they did and this is what they should have done. Blah, blah, blah. Just, if you're enjoying the show, just keep it right there. And then when it's done, if you want to go back into the comics and get that larger experience, go do it. But I think anybody who's coming into the show completely clean, I think you're going to get a much better experience than if you know too much other stuff.
Okay.
Nice.
I appreciate that.
Stay right there.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Now, that being said, when Nolan gets to Thrax, no, I'm kidding.
Well played. Well played.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, man, we better wrap up. We're almost 2 hours in. So hour 45. So any other last comments, thoughts, percolations on Invincible season 4?
I enjoyed it. I'll just say that, except for what, episode 4 or whatever, that was probably the low point of the show. But other than that, yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah. Megan, any last thoughts?
It's still good. Watch it. But
yeah,
there's definitely.
Tom, last thoughts?
Yeah, it's still good. That's the great quote right there. It's still good. It's still good. Yeah. Even with me sort of on the downside of it, it's still good.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everybody. Well, we'll just stick a fork in it and say we're done on that. Tom, hey, real quick, thanks for joining us. It's always great to have you with us. We really appreciate your time and just hanging with us. We always have a good time. So thanks again.
Do it. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, with that, everybody, just real quick, as we round out, I just want to make sure you don't forget to check out our website at www.2geeksmic.com. That's 2geeksmic.com. There you'll find all things Two Geeks, and it links to everything else, such as our merch page, which is www.2geeksmerch.com. You can also get to our Ko-fi page, which is ko-fi/2 GEEKS. There we've got some cool stuff. We've just launched our Ko-fi only. Well, Ko-fi gets it a month early. We're doing a walkthrough Lone Wolf, the old game books. We're doing the new hardbacks. We're going through those with just a little bit of music in the background, reading it and making decisions on the fly. And so we're doing those. Go to such and such paragraph. So kind of like your choose your own adventure, but this is like choose your own RPG type thing as you go through it. So there's dice rolling, and then there's go to this page if you get this, if you go to this page or this paragraph and go to this. So we've been doing that. So that's been pretty fun to do that. So we got a $1 tier, a $2 tier, and a $3 tier. All that money helps just support just for us what we do here, just to help pay for all the things it is to have a podcast these days. So if you want to contact us, please check us out at show@2geeksmic.com. Reach out to us, and if you have any questions, comments, or anything else, questions you may have about just whatever, how to get a hold of Tom to bomb his house just because you don't agree with him. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. We're not going to use his address. Just kidding. So, but anyway, that's where you get a hold of us. Tom, thanks again for joining us. Mike, do you have anything else?
All right. If you made it this far, please make sure and go and like and subscribe to us on the socials. We are active on Facebook and Instagram. I try to post sometimes funny memes, sometimes relevant geeky information, so on and so forth. And most of all, I post when we are going live. And speaking of going live, we go live every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the rest because I don't like the math. And we are live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Rumble. I think I got them all right this time.
Yay, they're working.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
Appreciate it.
Please do not Steven skip this episode because we are much more betterer than the rest. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.